not soon forget.
We now have a vote on record in the House for every member as to whether they are for or against women's rights. And we have that vote before the December filing deadline and before the 1984 primaries, so we can take our action accordingly.
Among the Southern California members of Congress destined for the now hit list, David Dreyer of Covina, Dan Lundgren of Long Beach, and Carlos Moorhead of Glendale. All oppose the ERA. Each is a Republican.
Some of our other news around the world this evening. Dawn is breaking on the third consecutive day of British anti-nuclear protests. The latest demonstrations were triggered by the second arrival of U.S. cruise missiles. The shipment probably or possibly included nuclear warheads 16 times more powerful than the World War II A-bombs. Protesters attacked the British Defense Secretary with red spray paint and eggs. More than 400 of those protesters were arrested in other demonstrations centered around the U.S. nuclear base west of London. There's even greater violence in Lebanon, where Syrian-backed Palestinian rebels are entering their fourth day of an all-out drive to destroy the PLO forces of Yasser Arafat. Rebel artillery in the surrounding mountains is attempting to force the PLO out of a refugee camp and into nearby Tripoli. The rebels apparently are hoping to trap the PLO for a final decisive attack. And in the Greek capital tonight, a terrorist group calling itself November 17th is claiming responsibility for today's assassination of the U.S. naval attaché and his driver. The attack occurred during the morning rush hour as 53-year-old Captain George Santes was being driven through Athens. The car was riddled by a gunman riding on the back of a motorcycle, and this same terrorist group also claimed responsibility for the murders of a top CIA agent and 2 Greek police officials in 1975.
More chilling testimony is expected in the continuing preliminary hearing for Kevin Cooper. He is accused of mass murder last summer, 4 killings, 1 attempted murder in the Chino Hills. Testimony in today's 4th session of the hearing centered on the murder scene. San Bernardino Sheriff's Deputy Paul Belts was the first officer to enter the bloody home.
You could sense the death that occurred. The smell? Yeah, I could tell before I even looked down the hallway that led to the master bedroom that there was something dead in the house.
The lone survivor of the attack, 8-year-old Joshua Ryan, is expected to testify at the trial. Word tonight that convicted hillside strangler Angelo Buono was once offered a life sentence with the possibility of parole in return for a guilty plea. But Buono's defense attorneys rejected the deal. Yesterday, the jury found him guilty of the 9th of 10 murder charges, and tomorrow the same panel will begin to deliberate whether Buono will go to prison for life without the possibility of parole or to the gas chamber. And there's a somewhat bizarre twist in the case tonight. The CBS miniseries Chiefs is off limits to the jurors in that trial. The judge ordered them not to watch it at the request of defense attorney Gerald Chaliff. Chaliff apparently feels the series about multiple sex and strangulation murders too closely resembles the deeds of Angelo Buono.
Well, tomorrow is another day and another $10,000 fine for magazine publisher Larry Flynt. A district judge is ordering Flynt to appear every day and pay that stiff price until he agrees to name the person who gave him an audio tape in the John DeLorean drug case. Today, Flynt came to court with a bag of 10s and 20s. Tomorrow, he says it'll be different.
I'm going to pay it in dollar bills tomorrow, and on Friday I'm going to pay it in pennies.
What are you going to pay it in on Monday?
It'll be pennies thereafter as long as I've got money. When I finally go broke, I guess I'll have to go to jail.
Well, to add to his troubles today, Flynt was given a parking ticket outside federal court. No word on how many pennies that will cost, but in case you are wondering, $10,000 in pennies comes out to 1 million of them.
Just ahead on the Channel 2 News tonight, some changes at PSA that affect passengers and the airline's employees as well. We'll show you the route of the local version of the Right Stuff. She flies around the world for a record. Will Olympic athletes choke up due to smog? Glenda Weena asks the experts. And hundreds gather tonight to get a taste of something very special.
You know what makes every Delta fare such a great bargain? No matter how low they are?
They're backed up by Delta professionals.
No matter how low they are, they still buy you
The best passenger service of any major airline.
On Delta, you get super low fares and
Some of the fastest baggage handling you've ever seen.
Plus a smooth, comfortable flight.
Delta is ready when you are.
I need it tomorrow. I don't care what it costs.
I need it tomorrow.
Business people under pressure to get urgent packages fast
I don't care what it costs.
often act without thinking.
I need it tomorrow.
But now, UPS Next Day Air gets it here in the morning for about half the cost. Just think, up to 50% less than the competition.
Sure, I need it tomorrow, but I do care what it costs. Send it UPS Next Day Air.
UPS Next Day Air. We save you money from the ground up. Now with morning delivery.
Now Avis has the fastest way for you to return your car and get this record of your rental charges without waiting at the counter. I'll prove it. Our new Avis Rapid Return is as easy to use as your pocket calculator. You just punch in your car number, your mileage, your gas gauge reading. In less than a minute, out comes a record of your rental charges. Try our new Avis Rapid Return. It's another Avis first. It's fast, it's easy, and it's only at Avis.
Some more cutbacks from the airlines tonight. PSA says it is laying off 100 of its flight attendants. The San Diego-based airline says it is trying to cut its losses. The carrier is also asking employees to take time off during the slow autumn months to avoid more layoffs. Fares are going up, too, on some of the flights. New prices at PSA went into effect today. Greyhound buses took to the highways today in dry runs for their resumption of service. And negotiators for management and about 12,000 striking workers met at the bargaining table for the first time in 2 weeks. Even with the help of a federal mediator, neither side expects a quick settlement. With or without an agreement, Greyhound says it hopes to be back on the road by Thursday.
Well, something else that you're going to start seeing out there on the highways and byways of California are 1984 Olympic license plates. They went on sale today at the TMV offices, and they'll also be on sale through the mails. A set of these red, white, and blue reflectorized plates can be yours for $100. Cheap, perhaps, if you consider that they might become collector's items like the ones issued in 1932. The money that's going to be earned or raised by those license plates, by the way, is already earmarked for traffic control and law enforcement. Now, in 1932, of course, there was not a smog problem in Los Angeles. Now, however, there definitely is one. And today, medical experts consider just what effect smog could have on athletes attending the 1984 games. Channel 2's health editor Glenda Weiner reports.
A smoggy day in Los Angeles. A familiar condition to residents, but what about Olympic athletes from other countries? Champions not used to running around in a sea of ozone and other pollutants. Would it affect their performances? Dr. Stephen Horvath is director of the Institute of Environmental Stress at the University of California, Santa Barbara.
An individual who has not been exposed to ozone as an air pollutant and is exercising at a fairly reasonable level of ventilation, 50, 60 liters per minute. That individual on the first day will have a marked decrement in pulmonary function. On the second day, he'll have an even worse decrement in pulmonary function, but by the fourth day, he will have been as good as he was on the first day before he was exposed to the environment.
Dr. Peter Snell is a sports medicine researcher at the University of Texas. He's also a 3-time gold medal winner.
If levels of ozone are such that there is some impairment of lung function, it may well make a difference in performance to those who are involved in high levels of activity.
But panelists say that high temperatures may cause more problems than smog. Glenda Weiner, Channel 2 News.
As a matter of fact, the panelists concluded that any athlete in a noon event at the Coliseum may have problems with both the heat and the smog.
If it's hour 27, then the next stop must be Chile for Southern California pilot Brooke Knapp. The 39-year-old pilot left Los Angeles just after 8 o'clock last night in a quest to fly over both poles in a record time of 61 hours. Mrs. Knapp is flying a Gulfstream 3, a small corporate jet named the American Dream 2. She has already broken one speed record, making it to Pango Pango in 10 hours, 38 minutes. She has also conquered a hazardous icy landing in McMurdo Sound near the South Pole. Her next stop is expected in Punta Arenas, Chile. She is currently traveling at about 500 miles an hour, and reportedly her spirits could not be higher.
I can understand why. Spirits are pretty high around Southern California the last couple of days, too. The rain is cleared, the sunshine has appeared.
Well, we may even have this high-spirited weather right on through the weekend.
Hey, good for you, Matt.
Yes, all the storms are staying up north. There's another one moving into northern California tonight, bringing a little rain up there. Some of it as far south as Monterey area. But first of all, notice this area right here. That's tonight. And then notice this area right here. First, here's the low, and here's the concentration of heavy thunder showers. As we move to our late night pictures, which was about an hour ago, you see how this is getting closer to northern California. Well, the rain is onshore. They'll get a little bit of clearing tomorrow afternoon, but this one will start arriving probably late Wednesday night, so they don't get a break. We're doing fairly good. The frontal system trailing right off through central California. Shower activity also being reported as far south, possibly as Paso Robles near the coastal areas. By and large, the rain will stay to the north of Los Angeles. In the East Coast, cold weather, raw day with rain and cold winds blowing, and for the nation tomorrow, snow and rain out west, and little snow in Utah, but the frontal system will stall to the north of us. The local forecast calls for fair skies and cool weather tonight, increasing clouds to partly cloudy and cooler on Wednesday because of the cloud cover, and then fair and warmer on Thursday. Minimum tonight, 60 tomorrow's high, 74, 70 at the beaches, 74 in the valleys, and up to around 80 in the low deserts. 30 tonight, rather chilly in the mountains. But then again, it's always chilly in the mountains at night. Jeff?
Thank you, Mac. What do wine drinkers in Paris and Los Angeles have in common? Well, tonight they shared the first taste of French grapes, Beaujolais, from the '83 season. Tasting session at the Wine House tonight featured the first harvest of the year. The quality of the annual crop is a closely guarded secret until November 15th.
Flavorful anyway. You can tell there's grapes in there.
Gives everybody a sneak peek because the questions have been going around for the last 2 months about how are the '83 Burgundies, and this is pretty much America's first look at them and France's first look. It's only been just arrived there this morning too.
Just 45 days ago, the grapes were still on the vines. Tonight, Los Angeles and Paris. Tomorrow, the world.
At least. Next on the Channel 2 News tonight, Gary Franklin is going to review a new Tommy Lee Jones film. It's a pirate movie with a payoff. But first, the Lakers play host to a distinguished visitor from the East. Sports with Jim Hill is next.
Torture test after torture test. Day and night. The wear and tear of 5 tough years in just 15 weeks at the General Motors Proving Grounds.
All yours, Brenda.
Thanks, Randy.
Even if you never put your GM car through anything like this, it's good to know we did. Nobody sweats the details like GM.
Notice they cut the highway funds. Wonder what they're going to do about that.
Not long ago, an airplane left Portland, Oregon for Washington, D.C. Its cargo was a beer.
I think it's the most marvelous beer I've ever tasted.
A beer brewed in Oregon.
You can't get it here.
The old-fashioned, traditional way.
Shame.
Oh, Senator, I thought you might like a bottle of Henry's to take along home.
Henry Weinhard's Private Reserve.
No, I couldn't do that.
If it's worth a trip to Washington, D.C.
Notice they got the highway funds back.
It's sure worth a trip to the store.
How they did that.
I'm glad I read it. It has a very, very, very happy ending.
I'm recommending it to all my friends.
Part about the plumber I knew about, but the hairdresser took me totally by surprise.
The book people are talking about? The Pacific Telephone Yellow Pages. The book with coupons that will save you money on goods and services all over town. The Pacific Telephone Yellow Pages. The book with the happy ending.
That caught me totally by surprise, totally.
This is the moment. It's time
Exercise.
to start.
Right. Start slowly at first, but start. Exercise.
You know you've got to find your way. That new tomorrow starts today. This is the best of life.
I've decided to start.
You can do it, and we'd like to help.
Visa.
Boston has a new mayor tonight after a bitter campaign. Raymond Flynn, a member of the city council, defeated his opponent by an overwhelming 2-to-1 margin, snuffing out Melvin King's bid to become the city's first black mayor. Violence ended the closing days of the campaign when a metal object was thrown through the window of King's campaign headquarters. It was the fourth act of violence to mar that campaign.
Sports is up here next, and you know, Mr. Hill is one who is known for his dapper appearances, but my goodness, you certainly do look special tonight.
It was a very special evening, as I was with Sugar Ray Leonard, as you heard us talk about earlier, and it was at a roast for him. This is his day here in Los Angeles, and we just had a great time. The list of stars just went on and on, as there were a lot of stars at the Forum, because with all the lineup changes this season, people were beginning to wonder if the Lakers' wide-open style of play would ever come back. Well, you can stop wondering about tonight's game against Milwaukee, because it was showtime at its best. In the very first period, it's the Lakers that give the crowd a taste of things to come. Magic with the steal, on to James Worthy, back to Magic, then to Kareem for the slam. But like we said, this was just the start of things. Jamal Wilkes to Worthy, and another slam. In the early going, Marcus Johnson kept the buck close with moves like that one. Then it was back to the Lakers' running attack. Magic with the length of the court pass to Jamal Wilkes. And Magic ignites another break. This time, the outlet pass to Mike McGee. He feeds Wilkes. Jamal makes a super reverse lay-in. In the second half, the Lakers show continues. The razzle-dazzle. Kareem to Jamal. Milwaukee coach just can't stand to look at what's going on. Meanwhile, another slam dunk. 7 Lakers scored in double figures. Magic Johnson added to his league-leading assist total with 17, as the Lakers were simply awesome. They led by 30 points. Rookie guard Byron Scott got into the act with a brilliant baseline-to-baseline drive as the Lakers rout the Bucks with style, 126-97.
They came out and played. They were tough and played tough defense. They helped each other, and you know, I'm proud of the team. So it's early, but you know, I'm glad we're on this kind of schedule.
We came out in the third quarter and we played excellent defense, either a turnover or not a very good shot, or they got a good shot and missed, and we were going the other way.
We came out with something to prove that we are one of the best teams in the league, and certainly the Milwaukee Bucks are that too. But we proved tonight that we're up there.
So the Lakers run away and hide. Meanwhile, Portland and Golden State squeak by. Boston routs Denver. Atlanta clips the Clippers. Chicago edges Detroit, while the Knicks, Kings, and Nets all post victories. David Stern, who has been serving as the head of the league's legal department, will become the new commissioner of the NBA in February, taking the place of retiring Lawrence O'Brien. Now, Mayor Tom Bradley has proclaimed, I should say, November 15th as Sugar Ray Leonard Day here in Los Angeles. Earlier tonight, I was with the former WBC welterweight champion at a roast in his honor, and the conversation turned to the champ's future plans.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking and I'm looking at you, and there's still people. I heard some people outside saying, I wonder what's Ray going to do. Is Ray having any second thoughts? Or is he just content to be doing what he's doing right now?
I'm very content. I don't have any reactions whatsoever. No, I don't think about that. I mean, they still, you know, offer me this and that, and nothing significant, just $50 million, but no, it's peanuts.
Peanuts? Oh. And while Sugar Ray joked about a comeback, NFL Hall of Fame running back Jim Brown says his reported comeback is no laughing matter. Brown's all-time record for rushing yards is in jeopardy as Franco Harris closes in. So at age 47, Brown says he may try and play again next season.
I'm very serious. I'm as serious as the numbers. And by that, I'm 47 years old, and they're talking about my records. And they're not really recognizing the numbers like they should. So what I'm going to do is take advantage of the new set of rules, get Al Davis to give me a contract if he would, and come back and gain whatever yardage is necessary to retake the championship.
With more than 12,000 yards in just 9 seasons, Brown is recognized as the greatest ball carrier ever. So I took the opportunity to ask him about the league's newest running sensation, Eric Dickerson.
This guy is tremendous talent. His style is beautiful, his cutting ability is beautiful, his running attitude is beautiful. He goes for the extra yard when you need the first down. I like everything about him.
That's a look at sports for now. Sandy, Jess.
Thank you, Jim. There's more to come on the Channel 2 News tonight. Gary Franklin rates Nate and Hayes.
Do you wish me to pray for your soul, my son?
What's it going to cost?
The West has always been a place where a man went to prove himself. This spirit has been captured in Chaps, the cologne by American designer Ralph Lauren. It's for men everywhere who are strong and proud. Chaps, the spirit of the West that's everywhere today. Chaps, the cologne by Ralph Lauren. And now the Chaps Groom Bag with cologne, aftershave, and deodorant, just $10 with any Chaps fragrance purchase. Available at May Company.
I make double what my father made, and I've got less to show for it.
People need help with their money. They need straight talk and simple answers from someone they trust. That's why Sears created the Sears Financial Network with Dean Witter Investments, Coldwell Banker Real Estate, Allstate Insurance. They're ready to serve you now in their own offices. The Sears Financial Network. Trust us to make it work for you.
American Tourister. Luggage designed to make it through a lot of goodbyes.
Oh, I hate these last-minute trips. I always have so much to say and never enough time to say. Oh, I'm gonna miss you.
It's beautiful on the outside, but it's still American Tourister on the inside.
Have you noticed that more families are driving Volvo than ever before, and each for different reasons? Some choose Volvo for its smart, distinctive looks and its comfortable, spacious interior design. Some want its responsive performance, and others want the safety built into every Volvo. Smart car buyers welcome the durability and economy. Whatever your reasons may be, your nearby Volvo dealer personally invites you to enjoy a driving experience. Volvo, the car for all reasons.
Pirate movies are rare these days if you discount Pirates of Penzance, and most people did, but Gary Franklin has seen one.
Well, just Nathan Hayes is a well-made new pirate movie, partly for laughs, partly for serious, with Tommy Lee Jones playing the pirate who fights it out with authorities, and a former pirate partner who's also a slaver, and pre-World War I colonial Germans.
It's a rip-roaring comedy, a spoof on pirate movies, but much better than the recent Yellowbeard. In this scene, there's a fast-moving escape with the rescuer disguised as a priest.
Here we go! God have mercy!
Whammo. Nathan Hayes was shot in Fiji and New Zealand. The photography is great, and the story, although a bit bloody now and then, quite interesting. So on the Franklin scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, a 7. Not exactly a don't-miss movie, but on the other hand, entertaining, probably for most audience tastes. Jeff.
Okay, Gary, thank you. And that is our report tonight. Tomorrow on our News Live at 5, Mariel Hemingway in an exclusive interview tells Gary, who returns then, how her name can sometimes open doors for her, but stumbling blocks very often lie behind them. And on the news at 6, cocaine. It is not just for Hollywood anymore. Channel 2's Jim Mitchell tells us the new cocaine center for Los Angeles, and the location may surprise you. That'll be part 3 of his special report.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a nice evening.
Melody Rogers takes you to Broadway for the longest-running musical, A Chorus Line.
Singular citation.
As one of the stars of the show, she was invited to take part with fellow cast members in a special Chorus Line celebration. It's an inside look at this landmark musical that only Melody can give you. Next, the Whiz Kids aid the police in an armored car robbery, followed by the gripping conclusion of Chiefs. All Wednesday, starting at 7:30 with 2 on the Town.
If you're looking for a business computer, today you have a lot of options.
$1,400, huh? $1,400, Dick. Is it Dick? It is Dick.
Dick, where's the monitor?
That's optional.
Optional?
This computer gives you a lot of options, Dick.
Right you are, Bill. Optional software.
Optional disk drives.
Optional.
So what's this $1,400 computer cost?
$4,800.
48?
Right, Dick. And that's the
Some
beauty of it
computer
all.
companies give you a lot of options. Kpro gives you a complete computer. Kpro, the complete $15.95 computer that sells for $15.95.